Yo everyone, Mango here, and welcome back to another video in our Shadow Era hero profile for the online trading card game Shadow Era. So we are playing a Lance deck given to me by TJ Dub. We talked about it in our Telegram chat. By the way, if you look at the information on this video, you will see down below we have all the all the information on how to download the game and how to join the Telegram chat rooms. Mostly they're there for the community to jump in and just talk about the game, strategies, ideas, anything that you want to chat about Shadow Era related. It's just the best way to do it at the moment. Let me see. So let's go ahead. We're going to get rid of this card. Yes, we'll get rid of that card. Play this. End our turn. And so this deck is featuring Victor Heartstriker. And so Victor is a hero that his shadow ability is for 4 shadow energy. He gets to reduce an opposing ally to 1 health and then pull the top hunter card from your deck. Or from your graveyard. Sorry. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of this because I don't foresee attachments. I hope I don't foresee attachments. And then I will play this card out here. And then I will go ahead and play this onto her. Then I will go ahead and buff this guy up with his ability for 0 cost. Until the start of your next turn, you get to buff any ally up by +2 attack. And this ally here, it allows you to reduce the cost of attachments that you summon as long as they can't attach to a hero by 2. So you see, I summoned her for 3, and then I placed an attachment on her that cost 1, even though I have 3 resources. That's because that attachment of 1 resource was effectively reduced to a 0. So it didn't cost me anything to summon it. And so, so he's going to come in and kill off that ally there. And well, that should end his turn. And so let's see. So let's go ahead and do this. Let's skip. And then what we would do is we'll play this and use it to discard this ability. So this ability allows you to discard other abilities. And by doing that, you get to disable an opposing ally and deal 2 damage if you have a Templar ally in play, which this card is. This card is a Templar ally. See right there, Templar. So if you don't have a Templar ally in play, it will simply disable the ally. But if you do, you get to do that 2 ping damage, and that's not so bad. The only problem here is I'm kind of running out of hand. I don't have much card draw. Whoa, Wrath of the Summer. I don't see that very often. So he's going to deal 1 damage to my ally, and then it's going to be a Blaze. Then he'll come in and attack and to finish it off. And so that's a pretty interesting weapon. You don't really see that very often, but it gives him something else to utilize his shadow energy on. Okay, so I'm on turn 5. All right, and I got my location. So locations are free to summon cards in the game. It's just the only thing you have to do is uh, you just have to play it on the turn required, on the turn that's required to do so. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna get rid of this right now. I'm gonna play. Yeah, I'm gonna play this guy out, and then I will use this ability to discard this ability, but I won't do it until I have this in play because whenever you discard an ability or a location, you get to draw a card. And so I played this guy over the other ally because I want to be able to do the 2 damage to kill it. See? All right. So dead, and then I'm going to just end my turn there. And let's see what my opponent has. So my opponent has the ability at 5 shadow energy to deal 4 damage to all allies in play. Oh, Burning Flames. So that's a spell you can place on the heroes or allies. So he's placed it on my hero because now I will take 1 damage at the start of each of my turns. He decides to do 1 damage to this ally and to set it ablaze so that he dies slowly over the next couple turns. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and skip here. I will play this card? No. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll play this card. I'll use the location here for 0 shadow energy, target, and discard a card, an ability from my hand. So you see he got buffed up there. Then I'll come in here and attack for some damage. And I will end my turn. Okay, so my opponent draws a card. So every time a card is discarded, this card gains +1/+1. So whenever it's discarded from my hand, or whenever my opponent discards a card from his hand, this card will grow. And so that's why he was 2/4, and now he's a 3/5. And so he's going to discard a card from his hand, and that's going to buff it up to 4/6. So you see it works. It works on both ends there. So I don't know if he's going to save up. Maybe he wants to save up his shadow energy now. This way he can use his ability to try to do a lot of damage to this guy. So he probably won't activate. Oh, he's going to go ahead and activate that. He wants to deal 1 damage to it. And he's going to, use Fireball to kill it off. Damn, just when I thought it was going to live. And he comes in, deals some damage to that ally. And both of my allies will die. And he gets an ally in play. Okay, so let's go ahead and I'm going to sacrifice one of these guys. I will play this guy, and then I will use my ability to reduce her down to 1 health, and I will use Poison Arrow. And so you see my ability for 4 shadow energy, I reduced her down to 1 health, and since Poison Arrow was the top hunter card on my graveyard, it came back into my hand. And I'm going to end my turn. And so I didn't want to use Bad Santa there yet because I want him to only have 1 card at the start of this turn to be able to do something with. And Poison Gas. Great. So now I'm going to take 2 damage at the start of each of my turns. And okay, that's pretty good. So let's go ahead and I'll skip my sacrifice phase. And then I'll play this to draw 3 cards and discard 2 of them. And if they're abilities, then I get to draw a card. So you see I discard this one because I don't have a feeling he's going to draw many more allies. And then I'll discard this one to put my Poison Arrow back on top just in case. And then I will use this. Do I want to use his ability? Yeah, I might as well use it on this. So whenever you use his ability, you get to give a target friendly Templar ally haste. And then this guy is hasted, so I can grant this guy some additional attack value. I come in here for 5 damage to my opponent. And I really didn't want to use this to give him any draw because I want him, he doesn't have any draw right now, so I want him top decking. I want him to only have 1 card he can do something with at the start of each of his turns. This way he has to get lucky to stay alive. Okay, see, he decides this card isn't any good. He's going to discard it. Yeah, it wasn't good. Arcane Burst. Okay, he's going to deal 2 damage. It's going to be enough to be able to kill my ally, though. Because he has a shadow ability ready now. Okay, and that's going to end his turn. And so I'm going to get rid of one of these guys for now. I will play this, and then I will play Glimmer of Hope. It's going to allow me to discard 2 cards from my hand and buff this guy up. I think it has to be abilities, though. Let's double check that. No, whenever a player discards a card, period. Okay, so let's get rid of this card. I don't think I'm going to need it. Okay, we'll get rid of this card. Okay, just to put it on top of my deck. This one, when I use my ability, that card comes back to my hand. Then I'm going to use this to discard a location and draw a card. And so now this guy's sitting at 5/7. So that's not so bad. And so my opponent here, let's see what he draws into here. Doesn't like the card, decides to get rid of it and buff up my ally. It was just a Puin, so yeah, not that good for him. And then I will, let me see, I will get rid of this card here. And I will use this guy to pull an ability. And I'll use it to grab this one. This way I can place this onto this guy, give him a little bit more health. And then I will use this to discard this ability from my hand. Draw a card. Now he's at 7/10. Come in here, 7 damage. Hey, not bad. Okay, so let's see. And so he just never got any of his draw engines in play. I'm not sure what he relies on, maybe to my knowledge in Bad Santa, but that's why I was always discarding why I got rid of my Bad Santa. I just don't want him to have cards. All right, my guy goes up to 8, and that's a good game. So let's let him know, good game, my friend. And we'll skip the turn here. And I don't like to play out the turns. If I have lethal on the board, I will always do it. I don't like playing out all the cards. And there we go. So that was a quick little video there, and it wasn't the most. We didn't get to see everything that I wanted you to see, but we got to see most of it. And you got to see the location interaction, which is great. You got to see the interaction with Aetherborn Wisp, which was awesome. You got to see the haste. All right, so let's go through the cards. So we have Onaxio Squire. So the big thing about this ally is he has Meek. Okay, that means that this ally cannot attack opposing heroes. So he's only good for ally to ally combat. Okay, and he does have a pretty solid body there of 0-4, and then he would be able to buff himself to 2-4. So that's pretty strong for a 2-cost ally. So I think it was a good thing to have him have Meek, because you can't have him being able to hit the hero. That's a bit much. Yeah, excuse me. Okay, Aetherborn Wisp, you get to see him in play. He's not a Templar ally. He's a Homunculus ally. But every time a card is discarded from a hand, either yours or your opponent's, it gains +1/+1. Zaylin Crusader, you got to see this card come into play. Attachments you summon cost 2 less. And so 1 cost attachments like this one cost 0, 2 cost 0, 3 cost or more costs 1 or more depending. Noxio Bannerman, so another Templar ally. So whenever an ability has been discarded from your hand, uh, friendly Templar allies have +1 attack. That would be till I think that's till the end of your turn. And then for 1 cost, you can discard an ability in your hand, and you get to give another Templar ally haste. So like you can give this guy haste because he's Templar, or like I did, I gave this guy haste. Remember, I gave him haste just so I can buff this guy up by +2 to deal more damage to the opponent. Especially since it was a mage, because you never know if he's going to have like a supernova and deal damage to both of your guys. So it's good to bring down their health value as quickly as possible. And I don't think we got to see this guy in action, but he is steadfast. So that means if you don't use an ability on this ally. If you see him or any ally with steadfast, don't use an ability on them that sends them back to their hand, to their owner's hand, or into their owner's deck, because it won't work on an ally with steadfast. Okay, and for 0 cost, you get to discard an ability in your hand, and he gains +2/+1. So you can see that'd be great, because not only would it trigger this guy's ability and give him another additional attack, but it would trigger this guy's ability and give him buffs, and it could trigger the location, which would draw you a card. And this guy, 5 cost, you've seen him in some of my other decks. When you summon him, you can seek a card from your hand, an attachment, and you can use that to play it, or you can use it as fuel for discard. And so this is an ability that for 1 cost, it lasts for 3 turns, and you saw me use it, I think, right? So you get to discard a card from your hand, and if you have a Templar ally in play, you get to deal 2 damage. Spirit of Devotion, 1 cost, it gives +1 health to an ally, and when that ally is killed, you draw 1 card. But if that is on a Twilight or Templar ally, you get to draw 2 cards. Poison Arrow, it's a great control card. 2 cost, you get to target an opposing ally and it's poisoned and disabled for 1 turn. Bad Santa, just one of the best cards in the game. 2 cost, each player draws 3 cards. Great for you if you want to dig, if you're looking for answers for something, or great for discard fodder, because even though you discard it, you still draw 1 card from it. So instead of your opponent drawing cards, you get to discard it and draw 1 card still. Glimmer of Hope. This card, for you get to discard 3 cards from your hand, or draw 3 cards and then discard 2 of them. So you got to see me use it once, I believe. And so I discarded, twice. And then each ability I discarded, I got to draw a card because of the location that was in play. So let's just jump to the location real quick. So the location here, When an ability or location is discarded from your hand, draw a card. So that's why Glimmer of Hope is so amazing. I was thinking to drop it down to 3 copies, but Dub Dub made me reconsider that, and so I decided to keep it at 4. And he's right, because having 4 copies of those is just a huge uh, tool to be able to dig with, because you could uh, basically draw 5 cards from your deck and really look for what you need. And then, for every ability or location you discard, ta-da, you draw another card. Okay, so let's go back here and Cover of Night. So I discarded it mostly in this matchup because my opponent was a mage. I didn't think I needed too much. He ended up playing more allies than I thought he would, but that's fine. So for two duration, 2 turns, your friendly allies have stealth. So against some heroes, stealth is going to be a crazy strong ability for them to have to get through. Against mages, not so much. That's why I got rid of it. Let's see. So this one. So this is your main draw card, Hunter's Gambit. I think I've done Hunter heroes already in the past. So this would actually allow you to reduce an opposing ally by 2 health and then draw 2 cards. And then just remember, when it gets destroyed off of an ally, when that ally dies, this card is exiled. So you won't be able to pull it back with Victor's ability. So if you want to be able to recycle this, you just discard it with one of the many discard options you have, because it's not like it's gone forever. You can actually pull it back with your ability as long as it's the top hunter card in your graveyard. This A Legend Rises, just anti-attachment. So against warriors, to bypass those attachments they like to put onto your allies to keep them from doing damage. This is just your item destruction for any item cost 5 or greater. This is Hunters don't have very good item destruction, so they have to rely on this ability more often than not to destroy items that can be a pain in their butts. Dawn Raid, another set of item destruction. This is for two targets of 4 or less. So that would mean even your own items. So if you're running a Ravager based deck and you can gain advantage from that, you would use this. But in this deck, it's mostly used to combat. Let me see. Sorry about that. This is my 3rd attempt at a video. I've been screwing them up all day. But so this could be used to target a rogue, their ill-gotten gains, their main draw engine, or even Amber, her one of her favorite weapons is Jeweler's Dream. You can target and destroy it with this. So just great utility card. And so the last 6 cards are basically location and how to get a location. So this is a new card that was released. You get to seek a location for 1 shadow energy, and then the active location is shuffled into its owner's deck. And so if your opponent had a location in play, you can use this item to seek your own location, bounce theirs back to their hand, and then play your location. Uh, that would be if you hadn't pulled your location. Just remember, if your opponent has a location in play, you can play your location over it, and then yours becomes the active location. There's only one location. It's something Citadel that doesn't allow you to play locations. Okay, and so that's the only time you would not be able to play your location is over that location. But otherwise, this gives you 6 options to pull into your location, and this was a great idea by Dub Dub to use this. And I used it in one of the past games, and I really like the ability to be able to seek your location early. Yeah. Oh man, sorry about that. Whew. Okay, so that pretty much covers everything in the deck. There's a lot of interaction in this deck. It's not the easiest to play. I screwed it up so many times because I was trying to explain it while playing it in some of the previous games, and I didn't use those because I was explaining things incorrectly and playing poorly, and I didn't want new players to see that and make the same mistakes I was doing. So anyway, thanks for watching. Do all that stuff like I always ask you to do: like, share, subscribe, comment. Just hit the damn like button, guys. Real easy thing to do. This way we can get the views up on these videos and get them out there, because we have a lot of videos for Shadow Era in YouTube, but a lot of them are kind of outdated. And those ones have more views and likes than the ones that we're doing now. And we want these ones to be out there. We don't want the old ones to be getting more play than the new ones. Okay, so just like, share, subscribe to the channel to help us out and to help us get more viewers. And thanks. Other than that, thanks for watching, guys. And I will see you with the next hero profile.